Welcome to the Thursday chat for September 14th. We have a few announcements before we get to Matt. We'll start with Marilyn Stone.
Hello, everybody. I'm delighted to announce that Willie Ross is taking over the deciding the group for movies. If you need to change a movie, if you need to get into a group, whatever you need, you call Willie. She has wonderful hands and she'll take care of you. Thank you.
Okay. And now Sid Josephi.
Hi, a notice will be coming out from me that on Sunday, we're going to have Tashlich, for anyone who wants to join us, meet at the resident garden at 3 o'clock, and we'll walk to the river. Tashlich will be explained more in the notice, but it's the symbolic tossing away of our sin that we do at Rosh Hashanah. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. And Phyllis Hirsch, were you raising your hand to make an announcement? Oh, wait a minute. You're muted.
I have a
Go ahead. You what?
I have a question about the storm.
Oh, well, let's wait till Matt comes on.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. All right, Peter Halfon.
Hi, everybody. Just to let you know that tomorrow is your last opportunity if you are interested in joining the dining committee to submit a short statement and to indicate your interest in it. We will be meeting, the dining committee will be meeting on the 20th, and collectively we will all review the applications and make the decisions, and you will learn if you're one of the new people before the 29th. Thank you.
Okay. Victor, I'll get to you in a few minutes. Sharon Gouveia.
Thank you, Jerry. I just wanted to ask everybody to mark their calendars for September 26th at 1 o'clock. I would like to give you a little background on the program that's going to be presented. We summered in Scituate for many years, and my daughter Julie befriended one of these twins who happened to marry a young man from Scituate. They moved to Los Angeles, and he became a member of the Los Angeles Police Department, whose beat was Watts. He and another officer really began some neighborhood policing and decided that if they worked together with other officers, they could take children from the public school there and put them into private school. So that was fun until high school, but then there was the whole thing of college. What do these kids do? So he reached out to my daughter, Julie, and she started this foundation, Watts to Boston. And what they have done is interviewed at different schools, had the kids come and look at different schools. There is one young lady who has graduated from BC. There are two at Stonehill College. There's one at Northeastern. There's a couple at Texas. She is coming, she is presenting a program at her home as a fundraiser. This has nothing to do with fundraising. But she said, Mom, she has spoken at several of the schools in the area, she and her group. And she said, Mom, do you think Newbridge would like to hear about this program? And I mentioned it to Larissa, and she said, yes, it would be a great follow-up to Bill Evans' program. So let me just give you just a little bit that Julie wrote. Pregnant with her third child, Rose Smith was bringing in her groceries when she was caught in the crossfire of a gang shootout, and her life changed forever. Rose was paralyzed from the waist down, but miraculously was still able to deliver her beautiful baby girl named Miracle. Now 15 years old, Rose and Miracle share their story of perseverance, hard work, hope, and what it's like living in the challenging community of Watts, California. LAPD Captain Ryan Whiteman offers an insight of policing in the inner city and how working with the residents and community leaders help under-resourced students like Miracle to thrive. So they will be here on Tuesday, September 26th at 1 o'clock. Please note the time change. Rose has a flight back to LA, and so we had to make the time here a little earlier. So if you mark it down in your calendar and you're interested, I'm sure you will be not only heartwarmed, but also really taken by what these people have gone through. So thank you, Jerry.
Okay, and now Mike Ross.
Thank you, Jerry. Make sure I'm not on mute. We're beginning our semi-annual campaign for the Appreciation Fund. For those of you who have been in the community for some time, you're familiar with what the Appreciation Fund is. For those who are new, let me just briefly summarize on behalf of the Appreciation Fund Committee. Newbridge does not allow any tipping or gifts to staff from individual IL members. In lieu of that, the residents have had an appreciation fund since Newbridge was formed, and twice a year we make gifts to employees based upon the number of hours they have worked in the preceding 6 months. Our success as a community relies heavily on the efforts of our staff and the very strong relationships we have with them. Food and beverage, security, maintenance, housekeeping, transportation, and entertainment. These include faces we know and those we don't see working to make our lives so great. I want to share a brief video which was prepared by Bob Mesnick that provides a partial sense of a little piece of this culture and the people we rely on. Jerry?
Okay.
Welcome to Newbridge, a place where life is a tapestry woven with experiences that enrich our days. Every day, our staff goes above and beyond to create an environment where residents feel valued, respected, and supported. From the delicious meals prepared with love to the engaging activities that bring smiles to our faces, their contributions touch every aspect of our lives. Showing appreciation to our staff is not just a courtesy, it's a strategic move that nurtures a healthy work environment, supports staff well-being, and contributes to the organization's overall success. It's an investment that yields a significant return in terms of engagement, loyalty, and positive outcomes.
What it means to some of the people you know here that, so unfortunately, even though the appreciation check means great to us, to some other people mean the world. Why? Because some of them don't have the means to pay for all they need to pay. Per se, a lot of them don't have any money to buy the meal for Christmas Day. They don't have the meal for New Year's Eve, or they don't have a meal for the day or for the night, whatever it is. There are a lot of people that are less fortunate than others in here. And I'm talking staff-wise.
Sending in your appreciation check is a simple yet powerful way to show your support and gratitude. Your participation speaks volumes about the value you place on the dedication and care that our staff members provide day in and day out.
Okay.
Thanks, Jerry. Let me just close with a few more thoughts. Next week, each of you will receive a letter asking for your contribution to the Appreciation Fund. We hope that you will be able to contribute generously, a minimum of $400 to $500 per person, $800 to $1,000 for couples. This amounts to the equivalent of $2 to $3 per person per day, a small amount considering what our staff does when we are here and when we're away. On behalf of the Appreciation Fund, Alan Kanigsberg, Helene Oppenheimer, Bob Orkand, Bob Brown, and Jim Harrison, I want to thank each of you in advance. Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you. So Victor Furtado, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Good to see everybody. I just wanted to give an update on the weather that we are anticipating on Friday. Our entire security, engineering, and shared Service team has really worked on preparedness, but I want to give you guys the latest forecast. They're saying locally that the rain is going to be potentially starting by late Friday night with winds picking up in the overnight. The rain will occur most of the day Saturday, with the heaviest rain being anticipated in the morning. Possible 20 to 30 mile per hour winds with a slight chance of gusts of 40 mile per hour winds. So it's going to create kind of a nor'easter effect for anybody who's driving. The National Weather Service is predicting very low impact in our area because this is looking more and more like just a coastal storm. And for here in Dedham, we are expecting 1 inch of rain possible, and it's actually trending lighter. That being said, we are tasked with being exact always when it comes to emergency preparedness and weather. And we're in New England, we're old hat at extreme weather. So we've secured a lot of outdoor stuff. The engineering team has cleared out a lot of the gutters. We're testing our generator. I've reported to Mass Map already updates on our resources in the event that there is an outage, a massive outage, that we're going to need support from our Mass Map partners. And we're going to have some additional people on just in case, and we always have our labor pool ready to activate. So what does that mean for the community? I just wanted to give you guys some best practices that we have learned through time and time again. Although the forecast is favorable, this is the type of weather that will cause a power outage. And although we got the switch here, we're not going to rule out a power outage. So, Friday night, I asked you guys to, make sure all your, cell phones and stuff are really charged up. Do all the things you can today and tomorrow. So you have some communication devices. Reach out to your neighbors too. That's a thing that, I've done, whether I lived in Brookline, New Hampshire, Burlington, Massachusetts, or now Nashua. Me and my wife, we're very close with 2 of our neighbors, so we can reach out to each other in the event that we get, inconvenienced by some sort of power outage caused by extreme weather. And a big reminder, because we learned this last time, and I actually had to get involved with the big power outage that we had on Sunday. And I say big, but it was actually, a 2-hour event. Please remember that the security control room does not, we don't know how long, we're not National Grid. We can't answer questions that we don't have answers to. And this is a very busy community, between the COVID cases, the falls, the miscellaneous stuff that we do. We're very boutique level. We're part of the community. We're here for you guys no matter what. We try to be very approachable, but tying up that control room is detrimental. And it, especially on the weekends now, where I have some new people who are new to security and emergency management. They want to make you guys happy, and just keep that in mind, guys. But either way, Avocado, we're good. And if you guys have any questions, I'm always available.
Okay, Phyllis Hirsch has a question.
Yes, we got something on the voicemail that said we should take chairs and things in. So I got that. My question is, I have moderately large pots of flowers out in front of do they need to be taken like into the garage? Are they gonna fly away, or are they solid enough to be okay?
They are, so because of the trending of this storm, this hurricane to a tropical event, you're completely fine, Phyllis.
Good.
They're probably also saturated, so they probably weigh 200 pounds at this point.
That's a great point, Matt. That's the other concern too, is how much rain we've gotten, and the ground is so saturated, and that's always a fear with power lines. But excellent point, Matt.
Okay, thank you. Jessica Colvin, do I understand you have something to say?
Yes, I do. Thanks, Jerry. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knew that Larissa is currently out of the office. We know that she will at least be out for the rest of September. So if anyone needs anything, please reach out to Nancy Vega or myself. I know Nancy has an announcement after me, but I just wanted to let everyone know and just make sure that people know who to contact, which would be myself or Nancy.
Okay.
I also want to talk about the blood drive that we had last week. I really want to give a shout out to Christina Rice, who did a phenomenal job setting it up, getting volunteers in place. And we actually collected 24 units of blood, which we were told by American Red Cross that it would help save 72 lives. So I thought that was pretty amazing and wanted to share that with everybody. We also had 5 people that donated blood who had actually never donated before, which is great. I also want to just touch base on the vaccine clinic. We still do not have a date, but David is in constant contact with Dedham Pharmacy. And as soon as they get the vaccine in, they are going to reach out and we'll be able to make that happen and get the vaccine in very quickly. So there'll be more to come on that. And lastly, there have been some questions about the fireside chat and the monthly bingo that is set to take place on Wednesday. These questions come up because of our current COVID protocols. So I just wanted to say that the fireside chats on Sundays, they are still going on. And what the food and beverage team is doing is just making sure that the cookies are individually wrapped so people can take them at the end to go eat when they're back at the apartment. And bingo will go on per usual on Wednesday night. And once again, the food, the brownies and cookies will be individually wrapped so people can take them as they go. Does anybody have any questions about any of the items I said?
Don't see any, so why don't we go to Nancy? Go ahead, Nancy Vega.
Okay, so really quick update on Channel 918. I'm going to save you guys all the technical jargon that even confuses me. We have the channel working for movies exclusively right now and this chat. We are currently working on upgrading the system. It's just taking a little time with diagnosis and stuff, which means the theater right now, although it's getting beautifulized, as I like to say it, it's still currently off limits. We're working on upgrading everything all at once. So just refer to Channel 918 directly for the movies and the Newbridge community chat. I also wanted to say, I'm the one manning the movies. So if you don't like what I have posted, I'm just going to say, I'm sorry. I'm trying to appeal to everybody. But if you have suggestions, I am more than happy to take those. Please send emails my way or sticky notes. It doesn't matter. And I also want to quickly plug in a couple of fun programs that we have for next week because we have a really busy week and I'm excited. And you guys have kind of left me alone a little bit because of COVID, which I understand. But I want to bring you guys back in. We have something very special on Monday from Paul Chervinsky's beloved Dr. Linda Chervinsky. She's going to talk about the founding era and civic virtue in honor of Constitution Day, which is on Monday. We also rescheduled the Beth Israel Deaconess Needham president to come and talk to us on Wednesday for an overview of the hospital and its ongoing efforts towards patient care and the partnership with Beth Israel Lahey Health. And lastly, on Friday, we have the wonderful Jay Sherwin that's visiting us to give us an exclusively small workshop on how to write your own legacy letter. There are still spots available, so please give me a call, extension 49130. And I think that's it. That was a lot.
Well, I'm surprised since you have nothing else to do but go to school as well. I think we're really very grateful to you for stepping in with all you're doing.
I'm happy.
Mankind has a question. Go ahead.
So it used to be that 918 always had something scrolling by on it. Now it does not appear to be that way. So when you're looking for a movie, it may not show up for, only a minute or two before the scheduled time. And I think that may lead to some confusion, because I know it confused me a couple of times,
Yeah.
not realizing that it's actually up. So.
We're working on the workaround. This week, it's given me a couple of brief heart attacks, but I've been able to resuscitate it. Yesterday was a little bizarre with the sounds, and I was working through it as I had 5 people call me simultaneously, letting me know that it wasn't working. But I was a little surprised because I was like, I swear the screen's showing that I'm working through it. So please be patient. I am sending out notifications, and we actually do have somebody scheduled to come tomorrow. So I will be here for that. So we're working on it, I promise.
Okay, thank you. I don't see, is Rabbi Judy here? Do you have any last minute words for us? Yes, you are here.
I am here, and I don't have any new announcements, but I would like to just welcome everyone to our high holiday services. I won't repeat all the times because I know that those are being put out in multiple different places, but everyone would be welcome. And beside that, I wish you, those who are observing the Jewish New Year, a Shana Tova U'Metuka, a good, sweet New Year. And thank you to all of the many different teams that are involved in preparing for our observance of Rosh Hashanah. That includes all of community life, as well as housekeeping and food and beverage and security. And it's not something that one person can do alone. And I'm so grateful to be part of a team where everyone pitches together to make things move as smoothly as they can. So that's my announcement for today. Thank you, Jerry.
Okay, Matt, we're ready for you.
All right. Hello, everyone. Lashana Tova. I hope you all have a very meaningful and wonderful high holidays. As Rabbi was alluding to, everybody's worked really hard, and we're just excited to be able to just celebrate together and have very meaningful reflection together. So thank you to the team out there. Really appreciate it. As Nancy was alluding to, if Channel 918 were a 6-cylinder engine, I would say we're running on 2 cylinders right now. It'll get you where it's going, but it's not going fast, and it needs some repair. What we tried to do was find some silver lining in this whole thing, which is while the whole system is clunking along, we have been in there trying to refresh the space. So Nathan Lackey and the painting team have been in there, and they're patching and they're painting, and the carpets have been shampooed, and they're staining the handrails, and they're just really trying to clean everything up. We've ordered new canvas that goes in the back of the theater. There's some stains back there from people resting their heads against the wall. And so hopefully when that theater opens back up, it'll be nice, new, and refreshed, and everybody can enjoy it. So trying to get something good out of a bad situation. But
And the trays to the seats. So now you can bring like a drink.
Ah, okay. I did not know that. So, but anyway, that team's doing a great job trying to improve it, which is wonderful. And I also wanted to touch on something that Victor said earlier about checking on your neighbors. Last time we had a power outage, there were some folks, who just needed a little more security to know that somebody was around to support and help them. Please know that the security team, of course, is here, but during a power outage, they're going to be going around checking on life safety systems. That is their first and foremost function. So calling on a neighbor to check in with you and make sure you're okay, or even spend time together, I recommend that as the best course of action in the immediate term, because the security team, although extra staff will be on, this community lights up very quickly when the power goes out, believe it or not. I know it sounds ironic, but all these backup battery systems turn on and everything starts beeping, and they have to run around and make sure garage doors still open, e-call systems still work, alarms still work, elevators function. The list goes on and on and on. It's actually very technical. So this is where I ask for the community to really be a community together and support one another. You know, we're lucky the storm does seem to be downgraded quite a bit for our area. For a little while there, it looked like it could be something fairly significant, but that is not the case. So we're here for you. Be here for each other as well. That would mean an awful lot. Any questions so far?
Raise your hand, by the way, using the method down at the bottom, because we have 3 screens and we won't see you otherwise. Oh, Judy Goldman raised her hand. Go ahead.
Matt, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, but
I'm used to it. Go for it.
it just seems to me that we're doing Band-Aid surgery on 9/18. Every week there's a problem. What is the long-term plan for replacing what needs to be replaced?
So what you're talking about really is the challenge that we're having getting a consistent answer from a vendor. We've got a couple of vendors that have looked at this. They've given us different approaches to this. And the X factor in all of this is how it ties into Comcast and their HD channel. Ultimately, we'd like to get to a place where 9/18 is broadcasted in high definition. So there's those 3 elements playing into it at the same time. I gave Nancy the green light to do whatever we got to do to get this thing completely fixed. And if that means stop adding on to it and ripping the whole thing out and starting over again, so be it. That's where we are. Now, with that, we're up against design challenges, meaning the technician putting together a design that actually works for all facets of Newbridge. We're up against product and shipping delays, which I'm sure will play another component once we give it the green light. But the reality is we're having a hard time making a decision on something that we're hoping will be the end-all solution, because we're just not convinced that the information we're getting is indeed the end-all solution. So Larissa was on it. She was leading the charge. As Jessica said, she's not here for a little while. So Nancy's taking the reins with Jess, and hopefully we'll get through it quickly. But
Thank you.
a little
I
more
have faith.
complicated under the water than it looks on the surface.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
Rhonda Goodman.
Thanks.
Yeah, I didn't get here till the meeting had started, so I don't know if this was answered. We were talking about what happens if the storm comes here. What about the cottages as far as electricity is concerned? Do we lose power anyway?
Yes. Yep, the whole campus, other than those on emergency power, kitchen hoods, some elevators, buildings that have life safety requirements in them, like the healthcare center or areas of assisted living, those will all lose power just like if you were at your home. Common area lighting in the general building, the community buildings will work, and the residential buildings will work, but it will not work within your apartments. The great news in all of this is from a climate standpoint, it's not particularly hot and it's not particularly cold right now. So that helps us out quite a bit.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mitch Freeman, you had a question or was
I
that?
think Matt just answered my questions, what actually will be powered on and what won't. And he just answered that question. So
Yeah.
I'm done.
It all starts with emergency areas first, all of that stuff. But again, please, you know, we're here if you need us. And just as a community, be here for each other. That's my request. So I'm going to move on to COVID because I think everybody's very curious as to what's happening in the world of COVID at Newbridge. I will say that I'm really proud of you as a community, not like you need me to be, but we went from a high of 17 cases last week to 2 cases this week. And we're down to 2 cases, and those 2 cases represent no new incidences from last week. So those 2 cases are carryovers from last week. In fact, one's even a rebound case. So if you think that an entire community went from a surge of 17 cases to 2 in the span of 1 week, that's just an exceptional job on all of your behalf to mask and take appropriate precautions and protocols so the spreading does not continue. So I feel very good about that. We're heading in the right direction. I will say we're having challenges now with staff because staff indeed are experiencing COVID outside of the walls here at Newbridge, and that's starting to have a concerning impact. I've talked to peers at other organizations. they're up against the same thing right now. So we're going to leave the masks on for staff next week as well and reevaluate from there. But I think from the resident standpoint, you're all in a pretty good place. So that's excellent news. The other thing I'll say is if you look at the wastewater data, you can actually see the little blip that south of Boston, that blip, correlates very clearly with the experience that we've had here within the community with COVID. So, but again, I think we're all pros at this point and we know what to do. So when you have guests come in for the high holidays, please ask them to take a test before they come on the campus. They can self-administer one. We'll have extra tests at the front desks if need be, but we will not be administering the test. They'll have to self-administer. And then if they're not dining, please make sure that they are wearing a mask when in services, just to be respectful to all the residents here. And if they are dining with you, you'll be eating in a different location where the population there has a little more risk tolerance than the rest of the others dining in a different area. So that would be very, very helpful. I see a question coming up right now that says, what about Coffee Connection and masks in Great Meadow Hall? The answer is yes, please continue to wear masks. Strongly advised, which is what we have done all along. It is not mandated, it is strongly advised. Masks in Great Meadow Hall, I want to do that for two particular reasons. The first one is a lot of guests join folks in Great Meadow Hall, including private aides. And the second is presenters oftentimes have a hard time wearing masks in Great Meadow Hall. And so if you're protected, it allows so they can actually take a mask off. One of my biggest concerns is social isolation and taking away from everybody during this thing. I don't want to get into the space where we're canceling events and we're canceling meetings and we're canceling performances. That's not good for anybody. It's not good for our spirits. It's not good for our holistic health. And so if we're able to control it by making sure the audience is masked, we can still continue to enjoy these functions because I really want them to continue. I think COVID has interrupted our lives enough, and we're at a place now where I think we've learned enough how to live with it and still get the enjoyment in the way that we should. So with that, I'll pause for any COVID questions.
We have a question from one of the Salkovers.
Yeah, Matt, I'm just curious about whether there are any updates on the community center elevator situation.
So the community center elevator situation is the same situation it's been. They've ordered the jack, the replacement jack. And so hopefully that'll be here. I think we ordered it, 2 weeks ago? So I think we have another 4 to 6 weeks to go. They will pull out the jack that is there and they will assess what caused the failure at that time. We don't know yet because they still have not pulled the jack. But as soon as we know, we'll share.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome.
And Sharon, go ahead.
Matt, you answered one part of a question, but what about the Coffee Connection?
Coffee Connection, we're going to cancel for next week, Sharon, just because the very nature of it is to take your mask off, hang out around a table, and have coffee together. But I anticipate it returning the following week.
Thank you.
And Rona, go ahead.
Yeah, when are we gonna see the Dedham Pharmacy here?
Dedham Pharmacy has been in touch with us consistently. They do not have the vaccine in hand yet. In fact, they're waiting for the confirmation order for the vaccine. Once they have the confirmation in their hand, they're going to book the clinics with us, but they're not going to do so until they have confirmed that they're getting it. In fact, right now I'm told that no pharmacy has it, and they're hoping that it ships out at the end of the week.
What about the flu one?
The flu vaccine, yep. They're trying to book a date for the either end of the month or early October for the flu vaccine. They're looking to do it potentially separately from the COVID vaccine.
Oh, good, good.
And from what I've heard, it's a timing thing. If you take your flu vaccine now, you may not be covered for peak season. The general recommendation is mid-October.
Okay, good.
That's right, Matt. And I'll just add that Dedham Pharmacy does have all the flu vaccines in though. So we won't have a problem getting them when we need them. They already have them on hand.
Great clarification, Jess. Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead then.
Okay, I'm going to keep moving on. We had a really nice group of residents and employees join at the Needham Jog Your Memory Walk and Run. It was really quite special. So for those of you that made it out, thank you. This is an event that supports caregivers of loved ones with Alzheimer's. And it's a local event in Needham, and there must have been 600 people there. And it really just was incredible. And to have a lot of residents there with staff, it was very meaningful. It was a nice morning. And wouldn't you know, the minute I got in my car to leave, it started raining. So it was meant to be. It was really nice. So I just wanted to publicly thank all of you that came out and joined the walk. It's a really nice annual thing that we do. And then lastly, you'll see a note in the letter tomorrow from the finance team. And this is about changing or adjusting your meal credits. I imagine since we have a new dining program, there might be some adjustments that need to be made with the meal credits. And I'll just read it to you quickly, but you'll be able to see it in writing tomorrow in my letter. It says, if you wish to change your monthly meal credit amount, we'll make an adjustment to your monthly fee. $50 gives you $100 worth of meal credits. For example, if you wish to raise your meal credits by $100, we'll add $50 to your monthly bill. Conversely, lowering your meal credit by $100 will result in a $50 savings each month to your statement. So this is the same policy that we've had for a long time. And they're looking for any requests or changes to be made by Sunday, October 1st. And as a reminder, they have an email address that's statementinquiries@hsl.harvard.edu. And they ask that you make that request through that email address. Again, this is in my letter tomorrow, so don't worry about remembering it right now. But I just want to trigger it for all of you. This is something worth paying attention to. And that's about it, Jerry. That's kind of the State of the Union at Newbridge this week.
Terrific. And Chef Eileen has a last word for us about the holiday food. Go ahead, Eileen.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I won't take you up much time. So I just want to make sure that everyone understands the hours for the Yom Kippur and Break the Fast. This will also be out tomorrow, so you can see it for yourselves. But for the Erev of Yom Kippur on Sunday, September 27th in Nosh, the hours are from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then in Central, normally on a Sunday, we do not open, but we are opened this Sunday, September 24th, from 4 to 6. And it's dine-in only in the Central. So that is September 24th from 4 to 6 p.m. dine-in only buffet up in Central. Then the following day on Break the Fast, in the Nosh, we are opened from 5:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. And then in the Central, we are open from 4:45 p.m. to 8 p.m. And that is for Break the Fast in Central. These will be buffet items, all the menus, and you can see them tomorrow when it gets sent out. That's all I really have. I hope everything is well. And that's it. Thank you.
And okay, the last question may be before the new year, Sid Josephi.
Is Fernando still on?
Fernando, yes.
Hi. So I have a question about the garage doors in the cottages. I understand that yesterday the pod that was having the garage doors fixed wasn't notified until maybe 9:30 or so in the morning. Can we please get a 24-hour notice on when we need to vacate our garage?
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a miscommunication on my part yesterday with another staff member, but yeah, you'll be getting at least 24-hour notice.
Okay, and it won't be done on Monday of Yom Kippur, a week from Monday?
Correct. It won't be until Tuesday.
Okay, thank you.
There'll be a communication going out either tomorrow or Monday for which ones we're going to be hitting on Tuesday going forward next week.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Jerry, can I ask a quick question?
Sure, go ahead, Bob.
Do guests not attending meals, but who are coming to services, do they have to self-test, Matt, before going to the service, or Rabbi Judy? Are they going to be required, guests who are coming to services but not to meals, do they have to self-test?
Bob, I would appreciate if they would, and I think the rest of the community would appreciate if they would. We've come very far in a short amount of time, and it would be a real shame to go backwards.
But it's not required.
It isn't, unless you're taking your mask off, it is not required. However, I again strongly urge that they do. And please make sure that their masks do not come off while around other residents, particularly in congregate setting.
I hear you.
Thank you.
Okay, Happy New Year, everybody. See you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Shana Tova.